welcome to round 2 of the 2024 URL Go-Kart Championship. Quick look at the standings heading into this round. Jackson led on the back of round 1. He's absent from this one, so you'll certainly see his lead disappear. Other notable absentees in Houser down in P6, and then Devine, McDermott and Schofield all absent as well down at the bottom of the table so far. We do have a couple of new additions in G Miller and C Miller. They both joined the fray, so they'll be looking to make an impression and try and jump up the table as much as possible in this one. So here we go then, in the race underway. We're still under the yellow flags here, we've skipped the first bit, but we're coming to the end of the first flag test here, and things go green early. Tried to get the jump here on G Miller going into that corner. Fortunately, the flag went red just as we came round, so stop there to give that place back. Here, this time round, we also have Chef Cam, so we get it from a different perspective. Fortunately, just behind us, you can see there, he was just behind us coming into that corner as we made that move on G Miller. But then, quite courteously, I think here we let these boys back through as the red flag did come out as we were making that pass. So here we go, back underway again. Still under the flags here, and then we go green. So here we go, staying on board with the Chef. And we come round here, as you see myself looking to make a move on my brother, both in the blue suits. And there he goes, swings it up the inside. Nicely done, he tries to come back, didn't quite get the run. Chef's camera a little bit low down, so we miss a little bit of the action here, but we get a good view of his steering wheel. But jumping back from my perspective as we set off from that red flag. So there you go, creeping up behind Gary, coming around this corner. And then it goes green and we get the foot down, we've got the run up the hill. He loses just enough space on the inside there, and we try and make it stick through there. We've obviously lost a bit of time, he tries to switch back, he's there. But we're leaving plenty of room on the left, but we've got enough in hand there to be able to make that move stick. We're now up behind Elliot, so we'll chase him through this section. But you'll very quickly get to see the theme of this one. Here we go. He goes to make a move around the outside and gets absolutely taken out of the game by someone that is not part of our group. So I think there were 12 of us on track for this one, and then there were 5 or 6 other drivers out there. One group in particular of 3 were really amateur, and that showed there. His racing line was all over the place, and Elliot paid the price. So here we go, rejoining, and G Miller this time has got the jump on me on the lights, and makes that move there. We get a bit more momentum up the hill, stick to the outside, leave him a bit of room, but then we try to close that gap off. Sort of that, and then unbelievably, it's all 3 brothers in a row, because Kart 24 ahead is actually Kurt, the other brother, all over the back of him. We looked to make an early move in there, and we forced him wide, but then things go yellow again. This was the theme for most of the race, unfortunately, for race 1, so you just have to bear with us. So we'll jump back on board with Chef for this bit, follow him round as he is following Gary round. There you go, there's that move where he got the jump on the lights. We get the run up the hill, and he drops back in behind us to follow us through that corner. Thinks about the move, but there's not really the room. Chef seems to get a bit of a run here. Can he make a move on rival Gaz? Not through this corner, and he seems to pull a little bit more of a gap coming out of that corner, and that's all she wrote, because we're back on the yellow flags again. Here we go then, back on board with myself, still in behind Kurt. We have a little bit of a train of cars ahead of us here, so always interesting when you come out of yellows in such a queue of traffic. We go green just as we come to the bottom here, and there you go. So gets a reasonable exit there, but ours is that little bit better, and we look to squeeze around the outside. Forced him to the inside, we're holding the outside line, nowhere to go there. Wise moving, backing out, because that could have been deadly. Looked to switch back for the inside, but he's covered that off nicely. Some solid defending there, to be fair. His first race of the season. He only raced with us once last season. But he's certainly here to try and make his mark. Looking to make a move himself there on kart 11. But that's compromising on the exit there and giving us the run. That felt like a little bit of a naughty shove from the side there. We'll put that one down to brotherly love for now. And here we go, chasing on to the next pack then. So we've got kart 11 ahead of us, and here we go back into traffic once more. Squeeze all around the outside. Kart 12 there, I believe, is Davison, as he's making moves. And if we have a look here, watch kart number 4. Sign of just how professional those boys were. As already under flag conditions, and he manages to park it in the barrier. And here we go, back under yellow flags again. Kart number 2 is not one from our race, nor is kart 14, I don't believe. Still under yellows here, and we take a nice shunt there. You'll pick up later, fortunately, from Chef Cam, exactly what went off there. And here we go green, looking to make a move to the inside. 14 absolutely cuts us off, nowhere to go. Fortunately, we've got a better run than kart 2 there. We manages to squeeze down the outside, and then we've got just enough air that we can cut round the outside there and make that move. Bit of clean track in front of us now. Can we start to put a lap in? I'd like to think so. You know, it's a really wide slide, a shake of the head, disappointed. Got to be making the most of those opportunities of clean track when it's as busy as it is out there and there's carts stopping and bringing out the yellow flags as regular as we're seeing. Another run a little bit wide there, trying to jump the car up the ramp to gain a bit of momentum. And then we come around here and arms are raised, voices are raised. It's another yellow flag. We've not had a full clean lap all race so far. Another disappointed shake of the head. And this, unfortunately, as I mentioned, is the theme for all of this race. Here we go, back green, and just as we're about to start another lap, you'd think that was a good place for it, but kart 7 sort of just sat in the middle of the track, forced to go around the outside. We've made the move, but it's straight into a red flag. So we go back on board with Chef. Let's see how he got on through that period. We've not seen him for a lap or so let's follow him for a while. He's chasing down Gaz, his rival from last season. These two are really close, him, Gaz and Housley. Really close to each other since they joined the championship about midway through last season. Chef that we're on board with, the only one that's managed to make both events, so Housley missing from this one. Guys just in front of him missed the opener, so here with a point to prove. Not sure what happened with Gaz. Yeah, he seemed to make contact with the car head there, and that's cost him down the straight, and Gaz absolutely capitalised, thrown one down the inside through there, and that seems to be Kurt that was backwards there in the corner. Don't know if that's self-inflicted, but Gaz has suddenly, Chef here is caught up to the back. The back there's kart 4 that was parked in the barriers, as we saw under very slow motion circumstances from my point of view earlier on. So at the bottom of this ramp is where we saw the bump on my cap. There you go, Chef gets one there himself. And here you go, it's kart number 4 that was parked in the barriers before, just overtaking people under the yellow flags, ran straight into the back corner of me. Just a ridiculous standard, really. Got to be better than that. They sat through the briefing for a reason. There you go, but you see me get the run on the pair of these here. 14 squeezed out a little bit there, but it's giving me the run through there. Chef's managed to stay ahead of rival Gaz, and he's now chasing down cart number 2. Guys will be back on board with me, and this is after the red flag that we'd stopped at previously. So away we go, back under greens. Still some clean space ahead, so let's see what we can make of that. It's always a slippy corner down here. All cold tyres. There you go. Slid too wide there. Lose loads of momentum. Another shake of the head, disappointed that we're not making the most of those opportunities. Camera had a little clip there for whatever reason, this new camera. This was its first use, the Drift Ghost. After 10 minutes it cuts onto a second video, so that was just a quick transition from one on to the next. Still plenty of clean track ahead, it would appear, but not happy with that corner again, and that kills your momentum all the way through here. And this is the start of a lap here, crossing the line. A lot of wheel spin through there, you can hear the squealing as we're screeching around that corner. And then there you go, way too wide. So upset with myself. When you've struggled this much to get a lap in and you finally get some clean track, to make a mess of it like that's really frustrating. But you're just trying to push with everything you've got to get a lap in, because you don't know what the other drivers are doing. I know that Horton's probably the biggest threat out there, and he's somewhere on the other side of the track, so I've no idea how he's getting on at this stage. McLaughlin was also really quick last time out, so he's another one to watch. So you can't afford to be making mistakes like I do. Corner after corner here. This is another poor lap with no one to blame but myself. Here we go on to another lap. Can we make it count this time round? A bit better through there, less squealing the tyres as we're kicking it through there. There you go, much better through there, making the most, using all of the track, carrying the speed through. Here we go, little lift as you go, left through there. Keep it planted, brake as late as you dare on the slippiest bit of the track. Probably braked a little bit early there, given how much of an issue we had the last time round. But then we're forced to go wide here, car 14. And what is that line? He's absolutely killed this lap for me. He was going so slow through that section and was nowhere close to the racing line. Just completely came across the front of us. No way of predicting that that's where he was going. And that's another lap absolutely in the bin. Here we go again, on the back of a shake of the head once more. Can we make it count this time round? Because we're creeping towards the end of the session and there's not been one good lap set yet. A little bit more speed through there, that's a bit of a better run. It looks okay so far, keep it tight through there. It's looking nice. Can the flags stay green? Can we make it round a full lap and set a decent lap? We'll be looking at least sub 60 seconds to be in with any shout. But no, the flags have come out to ruin that one as well. So there you go, back under yellow flag conditions as we roll down the hill. Another shake of the head. So frustrated at this point, and just hoping that that's not the yellow for the end of the race, but it's not. We go green, and there you go, just as we're coming around to cross the line, so it's just killed the end of that lap, hasn't it? there as we come into that hairpin. And made that move nice and quickly. The traffic ahead as we're coming up on kart number 12. It's closing on kart number 4 again. Kart number 4, he was in the barriers earlier and then ran into us under the yellow flag. His line's all over the place. Where's he going to go here? Who knows? Swerving left and right. Force a move up the inside. And hoping that didn't hold us up too much as we come round here into the last corner. And over the line as the yellow flags come out again. Come round this corner to find that that's actually the checkered flag dropping. So that's the end of the race. Possibly that very last lap. But it's not a great session. So we were back on board with the chef. Let's see how his race finished. Maybe he had a bit more excitement, a bit more joy out there than we did. It's another great view of his steering wheel and pedals. Not sure if the camera's been mounted a little bit low. Oh, but there's an aggressive move from Miller. G. Miller as he tries to force his way through. Chef shuts that door on the left-hand side there, gives him nowhere to go. Around to see if he's still there. There was certainly a bump as he made the pass. And he's there again. Look up the inside through there. That's a brave move in there. Chef switched it back. Can he hold the line? He holds the inside and he's made the most of it. Shut him out again. Oh, and he was definitely there on the left-hand side there. Chef has absolutely shut the door in there. He only done well to have not ended up absolutely in the barrier at that point, G. Miller. Back with the barrier there. Like it might have just been a self-induced one. I'm not sure it's pressure from behind that's caused it. It's certainly not glance. Oh, there was a glance backwards there just as I went to say that. So maybe Gaz is still sat on his shoulder. Certainly feeling the pressure. It looks like a decent pace though from Sheffield. Nice clean lap for him. Into some traffic now. How's he going to handle this? He's been forced to go around the outside. He's managed to close it by the time he gets back around. Quite a comfortable one in the end. There's another look here. Oh, got 11. Absolutely shoots through. There's an hand up as he goes through. You can see Miller on the inside here looking to force it. Chef's not having any of it. He's forced him back out again. Coming up on a bit more traffic, kart 7. There's definitely a bit of a shove from behind there. Chef has to slam the brakes on. Kart 7 in the way. Chases down a kart ahead, not one from our session. The yellows seem to have fallen. And that, I believe, is the end of the race for the Chef. So looking at the fastest lap tables then, it was Horton who gets the bonus point in the championship for setting the fastest lap out here with a 59.3 ahead of myself with a 59.8. There's then a 2-second gap back to Glover with a 61.8. Then I have a spate of drivers in the 62s, Hopkins, Blake, Miller, Davison, Tracy, Cave, Seamiller, 0.05 seconds off of Cave ahead of him. McLaughlin will be disappointed with 11th and Was comes in 12th. We then move on to everyone's average of their top 5 laps. That's where the points are scored. Horton holds on at the top to take full points in this one. The traffic really played a part in this one. It's myself in second, but 1.7 seconds behind. Glover then a further 1.5 seconds. G. Miller jumps up this table into P4. Hopkins just a 10th behind him in the end, with Davison less than a 10th behind him. So really, really close in there. McLaughlin jumped up that table, did really well on his averages to say there was so much traffic, to come in on a 65.6 average, with Tracy 0.5 seconds down on him. Seamiller once again really close to the driver in front, 0.06 off Tracy in the end to come on P9. Cave a 10th off that one, rounding out the top 10. Blake, who was right up there, to be fair, on the fastest lap table, was the biggest struggler when it came to average times, and he fell to P11 overall in the charts. Was in P12. There was no average time that could recover his performance in that one. Unfortunately, he'll be upset with that. So what does that mean for the championship table then as we come to the end of round 2, race 1? Well, it's yours truly, the 2023 defending champion, rising to the top. Horton, who won this one and got the fastest lap. So a couple of points swing in his advantage here. The 2022 world champion climbs up to P2. McLaughlin managed to recover a little bit with the average times, but his best pace wasn't really there. He wasn't on show today. He was right up there last time round. Couldn't replicate that this time, and Glover has closed that gap to just a point behind him in the race for that final step on the championship podium. Davison had a good race out there as he climbs a place as well up into P5. Chef, that we were on board with for some of it, manages to gain 2 as well. He's the first to make the most of both Jackson and Housley's absences here. Jackson is joint on points with Hopkins at this stage. Obviously there's still another race to go for round 2, so he's set to fall further yet, but he's already dropped 5 places just halfway through this event, so he'll be keen to get back on track and try and recover that sometime soon. Cave and Tracy both gain places as Was sticks it out, still in P9, now joint on points with his arch rival from engineering in Tracy. So a lot of animosity there going into this next one. Blake, he had a reasonable pace about him today, but it just didn't show on the average lap time, so he didn't gain as much as he'd have probably liked. He stays P11 on the charts. Housley, the other absentee that was in the top 6, has dropped 6 places immediately. He's down to P12. He'll be gutted to see his rival Chef climb that far away from him immediately. Divine, another absentee, but he's managed to stick it out in 13th. New entry for Gaz Miller as he put 17 points on the board, very respectable for his opener as he came in P4. So he's up to 14th immediately, jumping Schofield and McDermott. And then Kurt Miller, who we saw spinning on Chef Cam at one point, did manage to come home with some reasonable points as he took 12 away and levels up with Schofield's result. That's obviously based on 2 races that he took part in round 1. So he has a race in hand on Schofield and McDermott, so expect to see him climb in the next one. Hope you all enjoyed that one. It was a frustrating one to race, just as frustrating watching back, just seeing how many flags we were up against there. Really can kill these public sessions, but that's the risk that you take, unfortunately. Bit of a spoiler alert, but when race 2 for this one goes up, that's a much cleaner race. We've got far less flags, so you actually get some competitive laps in there, so that'll be good to watch. So keep an eye out for that one for when it comes out. But thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video.